The first time I saw her name, it was printed in blue ink, neat, official, impossible to ignore. Spouse. Elena Marquez. I almost told the nurse she had the wrong chart. Instead, I smiled politely because that's what you do when your brain hasn't caught up with your eyes yet. I think there's a mistake, I said, sliding the clipboard back across the counter. I'm his wife. The nurse didn't look surprised. She didn't even look confused. She just adjusted her glasses and checked the screen again. Yes, she said calmly. You're listed as emergency contact, but spouse on record is Elena Marquez. My fingers went cold. Behind me, double doors swung open and shut, each time releasing a breath of antiseptic air and the distant beeping of machines. Somewhere down the hall, a monitor flatlined and then recovered. Voices rushed. Shoes squeaked. None of it felt real. My husband's name is Daniel Reeves, I said carefully. Are you sure you pulled the right file? She turned the monitor slightly, so I could see it. Photo, birth date, address. Everything was his, except for the wife. I can add a note, she offered gently, mistaking my silence for administrative concern. Sometimes records are outdated. Outdated. Like milk. Like software. Like a weather app. Not like a marriage. I nodded automatically and took back the clipboard. My handwriting looked like someone else's as I finished the insurance section. We'd filled out these forms together dozens of times before. Dentist visits, physicals. That time he sliced his hand opening a wine bottle like an idiot. 3 years married. 2 houses. 1 shared checking account. 0 Elena Marquez. When I returned to the waiting area, the TV was running a muted cooking show. A chef flambéed something dramatically while subtitles screamed excitement. No one watched. Hospitals erase appetite. I sat. Stood. Sat again. Daniel had been brought in after collapsing at work. That's all I knew. A coworker called me from his phone. Said he'd gone dizzy, then down. No warning signs. No drama. Just gravity. I texted his brother. No reply. I opened our message thread instead. Scrolled. Groceries. Dog food. Memes. A photo he'd sent this morning. Burnt toast and the caption. Chef excellence. Normal. So aggressively normal. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Is he okay? They said he was taken to St. Luke's. I stared at it. Who is this? I typed. 3 dots appeared instantly. Elena. My chest tightened like a fist. For a full 10 seconds I forgot how to breathe. I stood and walked straight to the restroom, locked myself in a stall, and read it again. Elena. Not spam. Not coincidence. Not outdated records. Typing bubbles again. I'm on my way. I didn't reply. Couldn't. My hands were shaking too hard to hit the right letters. There are moments when your life doesn't explode. It tilts. Quietly. Like a picture frame slipping off level. I splashed water on my face and looked in the mirror. Same person. Same marriage. Same ring. So, why did it suddenly feel like a prop? When I came back out, the waiting room doors opened, and a woman rushed in like she'd outrun traffic itself. Mid-30s. Dark hair half tied, half falling out. No makeup. Eyes wide with raw fear. She went straight to the desk. Daniel Reeves, cardiac intake. Where is he? The nurse looked up. You are? Elena, his wife. No hesitation. No stumble. No doubt. The word landed between us like a dropped plate. I watched the nurse's recognition click into place. Oh good. Here she is, the look reserved for expected people. Not me. They spoke quietly. I couldn't hear the rest. I didn't need to. Truth has a posture. Hers stood upright. She turned and saw me watching. We locked eyes. Something passed between us instantly. Not hostility, not confusion, recognition. Like 2 people realizing they're holding opposite ends of the same rope. She walked toward me slowly. You're Claire, she said. Not asked. Stated. My stomach dropped. Yes. He'd said my name to her. Recently enough to be current. Hi, she added softly, like this was a school pickup. I'm Elena, I finished. We stood there. Two wives in a hospital waiting room with bad lighting and worse timing. Neither of us slapped the other. Neither of us cried. Shock is a professional anesthetic. How do you know my husband? I asked. Her eyebrows flinched. Tiny movement. Big answer. I married him, she said. The room hummed. Air vents. Fluorescent buzz. Distant wheels on tile. That's not possible, I said automatically. She didn't argue. She just pulled a folded document from her bag and handed it to me. Marriage certificate. County seal. Date. 8 years ago. My wedding was 3. Overlap is a brutal kind of math. We separated, she said quietly. But we never finalized the divorce. He said he handled it. I laughed, a strange, brittle sound I'd never made before. He told me he'd never been married. I'm sure he told me the same about you. We both went silent. Not enemies. Not allies. Just two people rearranging reality in real time. A doctor pushed through the doors and called his name. Both of us stood. The doctor hesitated, looked from her to me, and understood more than he wanted to. Family, he asked carefully. We answered at the same time. Yes. Another pause. You should both come, he said. Together. The word echoed louder than it should have. We walked down the corridor side by side, strangers bound by a man unconscious behind a door, a man who, apparently, had built 2 marriages like parallel train tracks and hoped they'd never cross. Right before we entered the room, Elena spoke without looking at me. If you didn't know, she said, voice steady but thin, then you're not my problem. I swallowed. If you did, she added, then you are. The door opened. Daniel lay there with wires on his chest and an oxygen line under his nose. Peaceful, pale, exposed. Between us. And for the first time since I met him, I had no idea who I was looking at. Daniel always said he hated hospitals. Too quiet, he used to joke. Feels like the building is listening. Standing there between his 2 wives, I finally understood what he meant. Because the room was silent enough to hear truth breathing. Machines ticked. Oxygen whispered. His chest rose and fell like nothing in the world was wrong. Like paperwork didn't exist. Like vows didn't stack. The doctor adjusted the monitor and spoke in that calm, trained tone meant to keep people from panicking. He experienced a cardiac arrhythmia triggered by severe stress and dehydration. We stabilized him. He's sedated for now. We'll keep him overnight for observation. Stress. I almost laughed. That's it? Elena asked. For now, the doctor said. But when he wakes up, we'll need medical history confirmation. He looked between us again, silently asking the question. Which one? We can provide that, Elena said smoothly. So can I added. Another flicker of confusion crossed his face. He left without choosing. We stood on opposite sides of the bed like bookends no one planned to buy in pairs. Up close, I noticed details I'd never been allowed to compare. The photo on her lock screen when it lit briefly. Daniel and a little boy at a beach. Not recent. Younger Daniel. Different haircut. Different smile. Less careful. You have a child, I said before I could stop myself. She glanced down, then locked the phone. We have a son, she corrected. Mateo. He's 6. 6. Which meant Daniel became a father 3 years before he married me. My knees nearly gave out, and I sat hard in the visitor chair. He told me he didn't want kids, I whispered. Elena's jaw tightened. Not at me, at memory. He told me he wanted 3. We shared a long, hollow look. 2 different Daniels. Same face. Footsteps approached. A nurse entered with a tablet. I need spousal consent for medication adjustment, she said. Silence. The nurse looked at Elena first, then at me. Training met paperwork. Paperwork met chaos. I'll sign, Elena said. I will too, I replied. I can only accept one, the nurse said gently. The tablet hovered between us like a loaded question. Elena didn't grab it. Neither did I. After a long second, she turned to the nurse and said, Use the most recent marriage on record. The nurse checked. That would be Claire. The word hit like a verdict. I took the tablet, not victorious, just numb, and signed. Elena watched my hand the entire time. Not angry. Measuring. "Thank you," she said quietly when the nurse left. That surprised me more than everything else. "Why?" I asked. "Because if roles were reversed," she said, "I'd want the truth to show itself quickly too." Truth. That word again. Working overtime today. My phone buzzed. Daniel's brother, Ryan, finally calling back. I stepped into the hallway. "Claire? What happened?" He collapsed. "He's stable." "I'm driving in," he said. 2 hours. "Ryan," I said slowly, "how long were Daniel and Elena married?" The line went silent. Long enough to become an answer. "You met her?" he asked. "Yes." Another pause. Then a sigh that sounded like someone sitting down hard. "They never finished the divorce," he admitted. "But they separated years ago. I thought you knew." "I didn't. I assumed," he stopped. "He told me the paperwork was done." "It wasn't." "I guess not." "Guess." "People guess about weather, not wives." "Does he have a son?" I asked. "Yes." No hesitation. No uncertainty. My free hand gripped the wall rail. "Did you think I knew that too?" Ryan didn't answer. Because silence can confess. When I returned to the room, Elena had moved closer to the bed. Not touching him, just near enough to hear him breathe. "His brother confirmed," I said. She nodded once. "Of course he did. You're not surprised." "I stopped being surprised about Daniel 3 years ago," she said. "That when you separated? That when I discovered the second phone?" My head snapped up. "Second phone." She looked at me. "You didn't know about that either." It wasn't a question. "No." "He keeps 2 lives organized," she said. Digitally. A cold memory surfaced. All the times he'd step outside to take calls, claiming bad reception. Even inside our own house. "Where is it?" I asked. "If he still uses the system, his gym locker," she said. "Back panel." Specific. Certain. Learned the hard way. Before I could respond, Daniel stirred. Both of us froze. His eyes fluttered, unfocused, then opened halfway. He looked at the ceiling first. Then left. Then right. Saw Elena. Saw me. And in that half-drugged, unguarded moment, he didn't look confused. He looked caught. "Wow," Elena whispered. "That's new." "Hey," he croaked weakly. "You're both here." Both. Plural recognition. No pretending. No acting. My stomach turned. "Don't talk," I said automatically. But Elena stepped closer. "No," she said calmly. "He's going to talk." The monitor beeped faster. He tried to sit up. Failed. "Not now," he murmured. "Please." "Now," she repeated. His eyes moved between us, calculating, prioritizing, the way he always did with work problems. Except this time the spreadsheet was human. "Did you tell her?" he asked Elena. "Tell me what?" I said. He closed his eyes. Wrong move. Elena answered for him. "About the insurance." Every nerve in my body tightened. "What insurance?" She held my gaze. "The life insurance policy he took out on you 6 months ago." The room tilted again. That quiet, deadly tilt. "Policy." I whispered. Daniel opened his eyes fast. "It's normal, spouses do that." "For $2 million? Elena asked. Silence. Monitor beeping. Oxygen whispering. Truth standing fully upright now. "I'm the beneficiary on his," she added. We stared at each other across the bed. Not rivals. Not yet, but something else now. Connected by risk. Footsteps approached again. Fast, determined. A man's voice at the door. "Which one of you is Claire?" We turned. Suit. Badge. Not hospital staff. "Detective Morales," he said. "I need to ask you some questions about your husband's company and a financial fraud investigation." Daniel went pale enough to match the sheets. And for the first time, he looked afraid of something other than us. The detective didn't step all the way into the room. He stayed at the threshold, like someone who knew whatever was inside was already unstable enough. "Which one is Claire Reeves?" he repeated. "I am," I said. Daniel shut his eyes again, not tired, avoiding. "Can we speak outside?" the detective asked. Elena answered before I could. "We're both family." He studied us. Quick, trained scan, wedding rings, posture, tension. Something clicked behind his eyes. "Yeah," he said slowly. "I can see that." We stepped into the hallway. Daniel watched us go, helpless for once, and I realized something strange. He wasn't worried about his health. He was worried about information. "I'm going to keep this simple," Detective Morales said. "Your husband's employer filed an internal complaint this morning. Missing funds, shell vendors, signature authorizations tied to his login credentials." "That's impossible," I said automatically. Reflex more than belief. "How involved are you in his finances?" he asked. "Joint checking. Shared bills. That's it. No side accounts you're aware of?" "No." He typed something. "Did your husband recently increase life insurance coverage on you?" My throat tightened. "Yes." "How much?" $2 million. Elena didn't look at me. She looked at the detective. "Ask him who pays the premiums," she said. He turned back to me. "Who pays them?" "I don't know." "That's usually something people know." "Apparently," Elena murmured. "We're past usually." The detective nodded like he'd heard worse. "We're not charging him today," Morales said. "But we are freezing certain financial channels within 24 hours. If there are shared accounts, expect interruptions." Interruptions. Mortgages. Autopay. Utilities. Life. "Is he under arrest?" I asked. "Not yet." That word sat heavy. "Why tell me?" I asked. "Because when money disappears," he said, "spouses are often surprised by what else is gone." He left without drama. No threats. No handcuffs. Just gravity, again. When we went back inside, Daniel was staring at the ceiling like it might offer legal advice. "What did he tell you?" he asked. I didn't answer. Elena did. "That your house of cards needs better glue." He swallowed. "Claire," he said softer. "Come here." I didn't move. "Please." I stepped closer, not out of loyalty, out of curiosity, like approaching a cracked safe. "I can explain," he whispered. "You're going to," I said. "Start with how many wives you have." He winced. "Separated isn't married. Not divorced is married," Elena replied calmly. He ignored her. "Mistake number 12 today." "I thought the papers were filed," he said. "You thought?" I asked. "Or you hoped?" Silence. "Why didn't you tell me about your son?" I asked. His eyes flicked. Their guilt lives in the microseconds. It never came up. I actually laughed. Children come up. He was with Elena. It was complicated. "Truth is only complicated when you're hiding it," she said. The monitor sped up again. "Not now," he muttered. "You don't get to schedule honesty," I said. He turned to me, desperation focused. "The insurance, that's normal planning." "Then why am I not paying the premium?" He hesitated half a second too long. "Because it comes through a business account." The room chilled. "What business account?" I asked. "My consulting LLC." Elena spoke without looking at him. "You mean the one that's about to be frozen?" His eyes snapped to her. "How do you?" "Because detectives talk," she said. He stared between us, recalculating, the way liars do when variables change. "Did you take money?" I asked quietly. "No." "Too fast." "Did you move money?" "I managed cash flow." Elena snorted. "That's a yes with a tie on." He tried to sit up again. Failed again. "I was going to fix it," he said. "When?" I asked. "Soon." "Before or after I died?" I asked, and the word shocked even me. His face drained. "That's insane." "Is it?" Elena asked gently. $2 million timing is a coincidence." "Yes," but his voice cracked. And cracks are truth vents. A nurse entered, checked vitals, adjusted drip rate, left. The world's most awkward interruption. When the door shut, Elena reached into her bag again. "Show her," Daniel said quickly. She didn't listen. She handed me a photo. Storage unit receipt. Rented under a shortened version of Daniel's name. Paid 6 months in cash. I looked up slowly. What's in the unit? I asked.
Documents, she said.
Hard copies, backup drives, and a folder labeled with your name. My pulse roared in my ears. You broke into it? I asked. I still had a key, she said, from before. He closed his eyes again, not avoiding, defeated. Why is there a folder with my name? I asked him. Estate planning drafts, he said. Drafts don't go in secret storage. He had no reply ready, rare. That's when my phone buzzed again. Bank notification. Joint account. Restricted activity pending review. I showed them. Daniel swore under his breath. That's temporary, he said. With what money? Elena asked. The moved money or the stolen money? Not stolen. Define moved, she said. He looked at me, pleading for alliance. Wrong day. What's the locker code? I asked. His eyes narrowed.
What?
Your gym locker. Back panel. Second phone. He stared at Elena like betrayal had a face. She didn't flinch. I'm not giving you that, he said. Then I'll get it from the gym. I replied. You won't find anything. Then you won't mind. We held eye contact. First honest moment of the marriage. He looked away first. That's an admission. Elena checked the time. Visiting hours reset in 10, she said. I'm getting coffee. She paused beside me, low voice, private. If you go to that locker, she said, don't go alone.
Why?
Because men who build double lives build triple locks.
She left.
I stood there, listening to the machines measure the man I married. You could have told me, I said quietly. I was going to, he answered. The most common lie in the world. When? After things settle. Things never settle, I said. They get exposed. He looked scared again, deeper now, not of law, of consequence. My phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number. Text message. Locker won't help you. He moved it yesterday. Check the Blue House file instead.
R.
Not Ryan. Different R. I looked up slowly. Daniel was watching my face, trying to read the message without seeing it. For the first time, I didn't let him. I didn't open the message again right away. I just stared at the letter.
R.
One character. Heavy as a confession. Daniel was studying my face like a weather map. What? He asked. Who texted you? No one, I said, and realized this was the first lie I'd ever told him without guilt. His eyes narrowed. He knew my tells.
Good.
Let him wonder. Claire, he said carefully, whatever Elena told you, she only knows the worst versions of things. I almost smiled. Interesting, I replied. Because that's exactly what she said about you. He exhaled sharply. She wants leverage. She already had a marriage certificate. That's not leverage. That's paperwork. He flinched again. Hospitals strip people down to essentials. No schedules, no escapes, no costume changes. Just truth in a bed with wires attached. My phone vibrated again. If you want proof, check the county property archive. Blue file. Hurry.
Property.
My brain connected dots fast now. Faster than denial. We owned one house. Unless. Daniel, I said slowly, how many properties are in your name? One, he answered. Too smooth. Only one. Yes. Swear it. He hesitated, a fraction, but measurable. Yes. I nodded. Okay, I said calmly. Then you won't mind if I check public records. That's a waste of time. Truth rarely is. The door opened. Elena returned with 2 coffees. She handed one to me without asking how I take it. It was exactly how I take it. That detail landed quietly. You ready? She asked. For what? Daniel said. She ignored him. To verify the blue file, she told me. My head turned. You know about that? I got the same message, she said, showing her screen. Same text. Daniel's face changed color. Not confusion. Recognition. Who's R? I asked. No one, he said too fast. Elena and I exchanged a look, synchronized disbelief now. That's your assistant, she said. Rachel.
He swore.
Bingo has a sound, and it's profanity. Why is your assistant sending secret property hints to both your wives?
I asked.
He shut his eyes. When liars close their eyes, they're not resting. They're searching their story inventory. You're blowing this out of proportion, he muttered. Then proportion it correctly, Elena said. Silence. Monitor beeping faster again. I opened the county property site on my phone. Public search. Owner lookup. Typed his full legal name. Results loaded. 1 property. 2nd property. 3rd record. LLC holding. Address unfamiliar. Blue house icon thumbnail. I turned the screen toward him. He stopped breathing for a second. That's an investment property, he said. With whose money? I asked. Mine. With which account? Elena asked. No answer. I clicked the record. Purchase date. 4 months ago. Cash sale. No mortgage. Investment. I repeated softly. Or exit plan? You're being dramatic. Am I? Elena asked. Because that address is 2 miles from your office and registered to your consulting company. The same company under investigation. His jaw tightened. You went through my files, he said to her. I went through my past, she corrected. My phone rang, unknown number again. I answered. Claire, female voice. Yes. Rachel. We haven't met. I work with Daniel. Assistant confirmed. Why are you texting me? I asked. Because he's about to blame this on you, she said. My spine went straight. Excuse me? Not directly. Structurally. Explain. He moved vendor approvals through your shared account credentials last quarter. If auditors pull the trail without context, it looks joint. Air left my lungs. Why warn me? Because I quit yesterday, she said. And because wives deserve the truth before subpoenas. I looked at Daniel. He looked away. That's confession number 13. Where are the records? I asked. Blue House office, she said. File cabinet, bottom drawer, labeled legacy. Don't wait. Systems locked tonight. The call ended. Elena didn't ask what she said. She already knew. Let me guess, she said quietly. We're going on a field trip. Daniel tried to sit up again, panic strength this time. Alarms chirped.
Don't, he snapped.
You'll make this worse. For who? I asked. For everyone. Everyone is already here, Elena said. A nurse rushed in, settled him back, adjusted meds, frowned at us like we were noisy furniture. Keep him calm, she warned. Too late for that, but she meant heart rate, not history. When she left, Daniel's voice was weaker. If you go there, he said, you could get in legal trouble. With my own house? I asked. He blinked. You didn't tell her, Elena said. Tell me what? Tell me, I said. He swallowed. It's in both your names, he admitted. The room went still. I checked the record again. He was right. Owner, Reeves, Daniel and Reeves, Claire, joint. Forgery is loud when you recognize your own signature style missing. I never signed this, I whispered. Elena shook her head slowly. You're not the first. My stomach dropped through the floor. You forged my name on a property purchase? It was procedural. Forgery is not procedural. It was temporary. Crime is not temporary. He turned his face away, finally out of defenses. I was going to fix it, he said again. That sentence is dead, I replied. Visiting hours alarm chimed overhead. Elena picked up her bag. Let's go, she said to me. Daniel's eyes widened. You're leaving? Yes. Claire, please don't go there. I met his gaze, steady, finished, different woman now than the one who walked into admissions this morning. You built 2 marriages, I said. You don't get to build my decisions, too. We walked to the door. Claire, he called weakly. I stopped, didn't turn. If you open that file, he said, you won't come back. I faced him then. Not angry.
Certain.
That's the first honest thing you've said today. We stepped into the hallway together. Not rivals anymore, not friends yet, but aligned by fact. As the elevator doors closed, Elena exhaled long. You okay? She asked. No, I said. But I'm done being uninformed. She nodded. Good, she replied. Because what's in that blue house? She looked straight ahead. Is why he needed 2 wives. The blue house didn't look like a secret. That was the unsettling part. Quiet street, trim lawns, 2 car garages, wind chimes and porch flags. The kind of neighborhood where people argue about recycling bins and HOA emails, not financial crimes and double marriages. It should look wrong, I said as we parked. Elena shook her head. Real secrets never do. The porch light was off. Curtains drawn. No car in the driveway. You have a key? She asked.
No.
I didn't know it existed this morning. She held up a small ring. I keep souvenirs. You mean evidence. Same drawer. The key worked. That felt worse than if it hadn't. Inside, the house smelled unused. Dust and closed air. Not staged. Not decorated. Functional. Like a workspace pretending to be a home. Living room, couch, table, lamp. Nothing personal. No photos. Safe house energy, Elena murmured. Exit house, I corrected. We moved room to room without speaking. Office was in the back. Blind shut, printer covered, file cabinet locked. Legacy, Elena said, kneeling. Bottom drawer.
Locked.
She tried another key.
Click.
Folders color-coded. Tabs labeled by year and vendor names.
And 1 blue folder.
No label outside. My name inside. I opened it standing up like distance might soften impact. It didn't. Insurance documents, copies, my forged signature. Property deed, forged again. Vendor authorization forms, my name listed as secondary approver on shell companies. Dates match the fraud window. Rachel is right. Trail pointed straight through me. This is a scapegoat kit, Elena said quietly. I nodded, throat tight. He built legal gravity, she continued. If he fell, you fell first. I sat down hard in the office chair. 3 years of marriage rearranged itself into pattern. All the times he insisted on handling paperwork. All the times he said, just sign later. All the times forms were already submitted. Not care.
Control.
A car door slammed outside. We froze. Did you tell anyone we were here? I whispered.
No.
Footsteps on gravel. Elena killed the office light. We stayed still. Front door handle moved. Locked. A knock. Then a voice. Claire, it's Morales. I know you're inside.
Detective.
Relief came back in stages. We opened the door. He stepped in, scanned the room once, nodded like a prediction confirmed. Assistant called it in, he said. Smart of you to come fast. You're not arresting me? I asked. Not today, he said. Today you're my cooperating witness, if you choose to be. I handed him the blue folder. He didn't look surprised, which means he was. This is enough to flip liability direction, he said. Especially the signature comparisons. I didn't sign those. I know. Forensics will too. Elena crossed her arms. He planned this. Morales nodded. He planned a financial disappearance. The double marriage situation just made the net wider. Why 2 wives? I asked. Coverage, he said. Different social circles. Different credit histories. Different asset paths. Harder to map quickly. I almost admired the architecture. If it weren't built on my life. Is he under watch? Elena asked.
Yes.
And now he's under hold. Hold. Morales met my eyes. We got updated labs from the hospital. Cold settled in my stomach. What labs? His blood work didn't match dehydration collapse. I didn't like the pause that followed. It showed microdose anticoagulant exposure, he said. Poison adjacent. My skin prickled. Meaning? Elena asked. Meaning, Morales said. Someone's been thinning his blood slowly. My brain tried to process motive trees. He was poisoning himself? I asked. Unlikely. Then who? Morales didn't answer, because good investigators don't guess out loud. But 3 names lived in the silence. Wife 1. Wife 2. Assistant. I started. I know, he said calmly. Timing doesn't fit. We stood in the quiet office of a fake house full of real crimes. Next step? I asked. You come back to the hospital, he said. You ask normal questions. You don't accuse. You don't warn. We listen. Wire? Elena asked. He smiled slightly. We prefer recording assistants. 2 hours later, I was back beside Daniel's hospital bed, alone this time. Elena stayed with Morales. Daniel looked weaker, but more alert. Fear sharpens recovery. You went, he said immediately. Yes. His eyes closed. I told you not to. You forged my name. I protected the structure. You framed me. I built redundancy. Same thing, I said. He studied me, searching, recalculating again. Did you open Legacy? He asked. Yes. Then you know why. Tell me anyway. He hesitated, and that told me recording would be useful. Because if anything happened, he said, claims would process clean. After I died? After timing aligned. There it was, not shouted, admitted. Did you plan timing? I asked softly.
No. Lie.
He blinked twice after his tell. Who handled the dosing? I asked. His eyes snapped to mine. Dosing what? Your blood thinner. Real confusion. That was new. I'm not on thinners, he said. You are now. Color drained from his face. That's not me, he whispered. Footsteps outside. Signal time. Morales entering. Conversation over. 3 weeks later, the story finished assembling. Rachel, the assistant, had been skimming alongside Daniel, smaller amounts unnoticed. When she discovered he planned to disappear and pin exposure on me, she started microdosing him, hospitalizing, not killing, to trigger audit timing before his exit window. Financial crimes exposed. Forgery proven. Insurance fraud blocked. Property seized. Daniel took a plea, not for 2 wives, for 27 counts of fraud. Elena and I met once more, courthouse steps, sunlight, closure, strange sisterhood. What now? She asked. Now. I said, I sign only what I read. She smiled. Good policy. We weren't friends, but we weren't strangers anymore either. We were survivors of the same architecture, and that creates a bond paperwork never can.